Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. Alright, welcome back to the channel. Once again, we're at the Georgia Gun Club 100-yard indoor rifle range. And normally, if you've been watching my videos, you would see that I'm typically shooting my Tikka T3X. There's a link to a video in the description below where I was shooting that rifle and I began having problems with a hard bolt lift. And it looks like material is building up on the bolt, causing it to have a really hard bolt lift after firing. So I'm having to send that rifle back to the manufacturer to be repaired. And so I'm switching over to my Ruger AR-556. Today I'll be shooting loads with IMR 3031 powder from 21 grains to 21.2 to 21.4. And when I upgraded the scope on my Tikka T3X, I took the Talos 6 to 24 by 50 rifle scope that was on that rifle and moved it to my AR. I now have to get that sighted in, so I have charges loaded with a 75 grain boat tail hollow point and 21 grains of IMR 3031 powder. Alright, I'll be shooting 3 10-shot groups at 21 grains, 21.2, and 24 grains of IMR 3031 powder. And we'll be shooting a 73 grain ELD match bullet. As always, you're welcome to enjoy the music while I fast forward through my shooting, or you can skip forward to the results that follow. Shooting at 100 yards. All right, it was kind of different shooting with this rifle and setup, but let's bring it in and take a look. All right, and of course we're shooting with a different rifle. I don't expect it to be as accurate. I'm not sure if the groups got better because of the charge weight, or if maybe I was just settling in and getting used to this trigger. But we go from an extreme spread here at 21 grains to tightening up even further at 21.4. So we will take these home, measure these, and get back to you with the results. So hang tight. All right, I'm back from the range and I've had a chance to analyze my targets. And of course, my Tikka T3X, I'm kind of disappointed because that's having to go back to the manufacturer to be repaired because of the hard bolt lift problems I was having earlier. So I've switched over, and today I'm shooting my Ruger AR-556 with the Athlon Talos 6 to 24 by 50 rifle scope mounted. And it's very different shooting this rifle from the Tikka. The trigger's different, the setup is different, it's a shorter barrel. It took me a few shots to get it sighted in, but after I did, I went ahead and shot these targets with IMR 3031 powder at 100 yards, shooting 21 grains, 21.2, and 21.4 grains of powder with a 73 grain ELD match bullet. Didn't perform nearly as well as the Tikka would have, I don't believe, so we will have to try these again later, but wanted to go ahead and give you the results that I had shooting with the AR-556. I'm probably going to switch over to my Ruger American 223 for the remainder of some of these tests until I can get my Tikka back. But anyway, here we go. At 21 grains of powder, we had a group size of 2.89 inches, and a mean radius of 0.97, which in my world, this totally sucks. But on the other hand, I'm shooting it with a gas gun with a 16-inch barrel, not a bolt action with a 24-inch barrel. So you can expect the groups to be a little bit different. But this was my most scattered group at 2.89 inches. We had an average velocity of 2243.6 and a standard deviation of 20.2 inches. When we move up to 21.2 grains of IMR 3031, we shrink the group somewhat to 2.28 inches with a mean radius of 0.71. And as I've said before, a radius is half of a circle. So if you double that, that gives you an average group size of 1.4 inches. That may be okay with the AR, but it's not okay with my bolt action. We had an average velocity of 2290.6 and a standard deviation of 31.3. As we increase the powder charge to 21.4 grains, we shrink the group size to 1.28 inches, and we now have a mean radius of 0.44 inches. We have an average velocity of 2315.6 and a standard deviation of 21.3. So of these groups, the 21.4 grains of IMR 3031 performed the best. I will probably shoot these same loads in my Ruger American to see how they perform in that. And once the Tikka comes back from being repaired, we will try this load again in the Tikka.
Just an FYI, the current Tikka T3X that I have been using is about to be replaced by the Tikka T3X Ace target rifle. This is a heavy barreled rifle chambered in .223 Remington, and this will replace the current T3X that I've been using. Every video that I've seen reviewing this rifle is nothing but positive, and there's a couple of links in the description below.
All right, those are my results. I hope you find this information helpful. If you have any ideas, thoughts, questions, please leave those in the comments below. I try to interact with everybody that comments. I hope you will also like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.